Hello everyone, this is Mr. Informal back with a new thoughts and analysis. This time it is the Sony ZV-1, oddly named camera. Yes, the ZV-1, not the RX-1, not the RX-100, but the ZV-1, which I don't really know what it means. But Sony is marketing this as a videographer camera, as a blogger camera, basically as a camera for you to take and make videos. So I'm gonna give you my quick thought right now. Quick thoughts is that I like this camera a lot. I really like this camera, but it does have its shortcomings, typical of Sony. But you know what? Let's get on with the specs first, okay? So the price is around $750 to $800 depending on where you are. 1-inch sensor, same as the RX100. Backlit CMOS sensor with a Bi-NX, 20 megapixels with a max resolution of 5472 by 3648. ISO is auto to 125 to 12,800, boosted to 25,600. It has an image stabilization. It's optical, not just electrical. Focal length is 24 to 70 millimeters, which has an f1.8 and 2.8 aperture, which is absolutely great. That means it has a 2.9x optical zoom. It has phase detect, contrast detect. Obviously, it has phase detection, touch. But the touch is quite different because it's not touchscreen. Only some parts are touchscreen. And then it has a autofocus assist lamp, 215 focus points. The LCD, yes, the screen is fully articulated, not just tilt. 3-inch with a 9.2 K dots. LCD, not OLED. 30-second minimum shutter speed with a maximum shutter speed of 32,000. That's electronic, and then maximum shutter speed is 1 out of 2,000. And then 24 frames per second. It has a hot shoe. It does not have a EVF as the RX100, and then it has a sub timer. And now here's the video features: MP4, and then AVCHD with a 4K 30 frames per second, and then 4K 25 frames per second, 4K 24 frames per second, and then 1080p is 120 to 60 to 50, 24, so on and so on. You know the deal. It has a stereo microphone, actually a big huge microphone, which has a good track of vocals. What I mean is basically it has a good microphone, but it does have a little bit of a lack to it. And then it uses a SD cards as usual. It uses a USB 2.0 micro USB. I'm not happy about that. It uses a micro HDMI. It does have a microphone port, no headphone port. It has a Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, which is pretty cool. Battery pack. It only has 260 shots, which is not good. That's actually pretty low. It has orientation sensor and time-lapse recording, and it has no GPS. So that is the specs. You know, let's get on to the analysis. There is not a lot of cameras that are catered to videographers, vloggers, whatever you want to call them, because many cameras can easily do that. The DJI Osmo can do that. Your phone can do that. Your smartphones, to be specific. But a dedicated camera, there is not. And so this might be the closest thing that a blogger can take anywhere and can take pictures anywhere, heck, this might be the only camera that you need when traveling. And just so you know, and I did not have it in the specs, but it does come with its own tripod that you can purchase. But and not only that, it has a dead cat, which actually reduces the amount of wind noise on the microphone on the top. But the market for a niche device is few. So I would not be surprised if this camera does well. And I'm looking at the Canon G5X. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go with the Sony because I think the G5X is cheaper, could be a couple $100 cheaper, while the Sony is $800. But I think when the holiday comes, it could be around $600. But again, this might be the camera, the only camera that you need, and that says something. It basically says that Sony finally listened, even after a couple years. After a couple years of camera users, video users complain about the RX 100 not having the right features. This has the fully articulated screen, and the RX 100 doesn't have it. This has a great built-in microphone, which the RX 100 does not. Even though the RX 100 has a built microphone input, but this has it too. Now, and why buy the RX 100 when you can buy the ZV-1? The ZV-1 has a better lens. So this is exactly what I mean. Do not be surprised if this camera does well. I'm interested in this camera. Should you be interested in this camera? Well, that depends on you. But to me, video nowadays are getting more important due to the memories that you can maintain. Not only that, due to the pictures that you can take, due to its good fast aperture lens. And the closest competition that this has is the G5X from Canon. After that, what else is there? The RX 100 doesn't have a competition, and so that means that this doesn't have much of a competition, and so this will be the only compact camera out there that is going to be as close as you'll ever get when it comes to travel video camera in the world. So let's get on with the rant. So I've looked at video previews. While the built-in microphone is good, there's still a little bit of hiss to it. Now I'm not sure if that's possible to have in the software update, and so that's certainly a certain hiss to it. When it comes to the active shot features, there's actually a crop, which I'm not a fan of. I think any type of crop on any features is not good. Touchscreen menu. Now the touchscreen menu is quite iffy. When you're taking a shot or you're trying to pinpoint where certain shots are, you can use the touchscreen. But then there's times when you go to the menus, you can't use the touchscreen. So it's quite confusing here. It has a built-in ND filter, which is pretty good. The default of 4K recording is at 5 minutes. That's the default, because Sony does not want you to overheat the camera, which says something about Sony's engineering even now. I mean, you think they would learn from the RX 100, but no, they have not. For some reason, they could not put a water cooled. Maybe they could have learned from the smartphone department. Apparently, every department doesn't talk to each other, even though they're all in one company. They just don't talk to each other and learn about different technology. I mean, you would think Sony would learn from other smartphone brands out there that uses water cool in their smartphones. I mean, why not just water cool the damn thing? So, small battery. Wow, I mean, you would basically have to buy 3 batteries. Oh, going back to that 4K 5-minute default limit, you can actually turn it off. But don't be surprised if the camera suddenly overheats. And last but not least, it uses a micro USB. Yes, it can charge, but it's not as fast charging as USB-C, and it's not as convenient as USB-C. Does Sony know that in USB-C you can actually use it as a multi-connector? You can have it through HDMI. You can charge battery. Obviously, you can connect it to your computer and your phone. For $800, it does not comes with USB-C. $800. To me, it's 2020 and still no USB. And for some reason, this is what Sony always does. Sony has great features. And yet for some reason they take some features and push it all the way back to the past, all the way to the back. I don't know if this penny pinching, but I doubt it, because the camera is $800 and it's absolutely ridiculous. Now on to the conclusion. I think this is a good camera. This might be a good a good travel camera. This might be a good blogger camera. This might be the only camera that you need for $800. It seems like a good deal. Is it a great deal? No. Is it good value? No. Is it the perfect one camera travel? Almost. If it was $600, I'd say yes. But since there's no USB-C, small battery, no touchscreen, it has to go down in price. But as usual, it's Sony. They always overprice certain things, and luckily, since it's also Sony, it also goes down on the price. So, in conclusion, this could be a game changer for compact cameras. It could actually keep the compact cameras alive. But at the same time, if you are searching for a perfect camera, this might not be it. But if you're looking for a travel or a blogger camera, this could be the closest thing that you'll ever see in the market. And so that basically concludes my thoughts, analysis, and rant of the Sony ZV-1. I will see you in the next thoughts, analysis, and rant. Bye bye.